Hi everyone, Stacy here. I'm really excited about today's video because it's something I wanted to try since I was a kid and I saw a special on TV, how to make maple syrup. So today we're gonna try to tap a maple tree and boil it down to syrup. As you guys know, I just moved from my old place, so the challenge here is gonna be trying to find some maple trees without any leaves to identify them. You could tap other trees besides sugar maple. You could tap red maple, silver maple, birch, black walnut, pecan. A couple years ago, I tapped a black walnut tree out of curiosity and I was getting maybe 20 or 30 ounces a day. I didn't boil it down to syrup, I filtered it and drank it, and it tasted kind of like a nutty Gatorade. Now, from what I've read, this is still the perfect time of year to be able to tap some trees because the ground is frozen at night and it's getting a little warmer in the daytime. As you know, homesteading is a lot about being innovative and making do with what you have. In the move, I lost the taps I was going to use for these trees, so instead I went to the hardware store and bought these brass fittings. So now the big challenge is to find some maple trees. So where I live, there's a lot of hardwoods like poplars, hickories, maples, and oaks. Poplar trees are pretty easy to identify. They're really tall and straight trees that don't usually have branches until you get close to the top. This is really exciting, guys. Check this out. This is a shagbark hickory tree. It's appropriately named because the bark looks very shaggy, like it's about to fall off the tree in chunks. Hickory trees can live to be a couple hundred years old. By the looks, I'd guess this one's maybe like 80. Out of all the hickory varieties, I've heard that the shagbark has the tastiest nut. A lot of times hickory is used for flavoring. You might see hickory barbecue sauce in your store or hickory chips to smoke your meat. You can even tap this to make syrup, but that's not our goal today. We're still trying to find a maple tree. This is the dogwood tree. They have beautiful white or pink flowers come springtime. The easiest way you tell a dogwood tree is by the bark. I want to introduce you to my nemesis. This here is poison ivy. It's horrible, horrible stuff. There's been many a summers where I ended up in the hospital with rashes and whatnot. In the wintertime, it's hard to identify because there's no leaves of three, so you know to let it be. So what I say is, vines of fuzz, leave it as it was. Sometimes these vines get so big and so thick that when they climb up the tree, they grow their own branches and you might mistake them for part of the tree, but in reality, it's poison ivy. All right, here we go. We got two kinds of maple trees right here. Maple trees have a little bit smoother bark than some of the other trees that you'll see in the forest. Plus the color is a little more gray to like a reddish color. Just looking at the bark, I wouldn't be 100% sure. So what I'm also judging this on is the buds that I see up there, which is good and it's bad. It's good because it tells me this is a maple tree, but it's bad because I read that when a tree buds, it's a little bit too late to get sap. So what you're supposed to do is go right above one of the big roots, about 4 foot, and tap there. So here we are directly above a root, about 4 foot up, and what we're gonna do is drill about 2 inches in. I need to wall that out just a little more. Now, as I said, sometimes with homesteading, you have to find unconventional ways. I don't have a sap bucket, but I've got some regular 1-gallon jugs. So what we're gonna do is drill a hole just underneath the handle here. I walled out the hole a little bit so it'll fit right over the spout like that. Now, I'm gonna use some ratchet straps to hold my jug here and make sure it doesn't fall. This will hold the weight of the jug up if it gets full. About there. Now I put a couple of these up yesterday so they had time to fill, and I hadn't checked them yet, so we're gonna check everything tomorrow. I hope those were maple trees I tapped. No one likes sourwood syrup. I've never heard of oak syrup. Sumac syrup, anyone? Here we are ready to check the sap this morning. It's gonna be a long day because we're gonna have to boil that stuff for quite a while. Hopefully it doesn't have to go overnight. But first, I've got to feed the goats. Got your nose. You want it back? Here you go. All right. The one from yesterday doesn't look like anything's in it. Let me show you. So this is the one that we did yesterday, just towards the end of the day, and there's not a single drop, is there? Actually, there is. Oh man. That's why you don't see goats working in the film industry. So anyways, as I was saying, there's only a tiny bit, which is surprising because I thought there would be a heck of a lot more. It only looks like a couple drops in the bottom. I totally expected more than that. Let's go check the ones I did the other day. Oh man, this one doesn't have any either. What do you guys think about this? Well, so we're gonna check the last tree, which is the most hopeful because it's the biggest maple tree. Okay, this one actually has the most, but definitely not enough to do anything with. Well, sorry about that. I was so excited to make some syrup this year, but apparently I'm just a little bit too late in the season, which I was a little bit worried about because I started seeing buds at the top of the maple trees, and from what I read, it said that once the trees start to bud, it's way too late in the season. Maybe a little bit further up north might work this time of year, but not where I am. Unfortunately, we gotta wait till next year to try again. Sometimes things don't go the way we plan. Most of the time, things don't go the way we plan. It was still worth a shot and fun to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and come back and check for new videos. Hi, cows.